Hello again. I hope everyone is alright. Yes, as I said, I'm going to be doing a back-to-back video from the Christian F. Ross Williams video. And this one, I wanted to get this one off my chest for a while because I'm still planning my main video about the social classes of golf. I just need to find a good time for when my friend is available to do this and give the input. So I wanted to get this one out of the way. It is a kind of like a tag video, much as I hate doing these, but it was been on my list, so I just wanted to just get it over and done with. This one is my first time tag, and for those who do not know about this tag, it's not as dirty as it sounds. Oh dear. It's just basically a selection of questions. I've chose to take 35 questions out of 115 because we've been here for ages, and it's just about my first times of doing this and the other. And I thought, why not? It's a little bit of a laugh. Judging by the views, you people tend to like me doing these tag videos, so I thought, why not? Okay then. So without ado, let's get started. Okay, so out of the 35 questions, we'll start on the first one. First app you check while you wake up in the morning. That has to be Instagram. I've become a little bit of a Instagram whore to an extent. I don't post as much as I do, but I do like the content of it, and Facebook just tends to bore me a little bit. So looking at a prison cell, you just keep on looking at a wall. I guess you can say the same for Instagram, but I don't know, there's just more prettier people on it, I suppose. Tell me about your first makeup item. My first makeup item, that was Stargazer White Foundation, and honestly, as a recommendation, even if you're getting into golf culture, just, divert away from the stuff. As a 15-year-old trying to be like edgy and try to get the pale complexion, it was horrible because it was so patchy, and even when you put foundation on it, it's just so noticeable. It's very much like, how can I describe it? It's like the M-cap to cocaine. It's just like a poor equivalency to it. So strongly suggest, if I could tell 15-year-old me never to use again, I would. So yeah. First time experience when you were able to put makeup on. Well, I was about 11, 12 when I first put makeup on. I started off with like the eyeshadow and all that type of palaver, just doing very horrible, uneven, like black smudged eyeshadow, and it looked like I just walked out of a coal mine. I think that was my first experience about that, and then obviously practicing a little bit more, getting into the crow didn't necessarily help that awful type of like look. And I remember when I was dating a girl back in 2010, I think it was, and this is during a time when the We Stitches Wounds album by Blackbird Brides came out, and I liked their aesthetic and attire back then. They were like emo scarecrows or whatever, and she was a big fan of it, so I kind of like went along with it, and I had that stupid Andy Six type of scar, and I just remember using liquid eyeliner, and I hated the shit. I still hate it to this day because it was just horrible to get off. But no, that was my experience, and then obviously it got a little bit better, and my family got used to it, etc. So that's my first time experience wearing makeup. So yeah, my first celebrity crush, the first celebrity crush, that's gonna be Boy George, and I was about 5 years old of all things, because my mum used to play Karma Chameleon to me. Well, overall in the house, and it was just a song that I used to love listening to because it was so catchy, it was so cheeky, and it was so nice. I remember looking at the Colours and Numbers cover, and I used to look at Boy George and I think, is that a boy or is that a girl? Why has that girl got a boy's name? I was just so confused, but the back of my head was going, she's so pretty. So that was kind of like my first like bisexual gay crush at the age of 5. So yeah, it happens, and you can't blame me. He was a very, very gorgeous man back then. My first cooking experience, that was probably making a bacon and egg sandwich about when I was 9 years old, 10 years old, something like that. So just a random question. I mean, I'm crap at cooking. I'm scared of cooking in case I burn the house down because I'm such a klutz half the time. But it's quite ironic because my dad used to be a chef, so I get loads of like the influences and I observe him from that point. So I just kind of wanted to explore around to get used to it, so bacon and egg sandwich was a good way to start off, and now I'm not so timid about it. Sorry about that, my phone seemed to die, it ran out of space, so I had to kind of get everything off my phone onto the Mac. Where was I? First cell phone. shit little flip phone Nokia. That's all I can remember. It was like a fucking brick cut in half and used to flip like that. It was one of those where you had to kind of dial on the same number. So like when you had like the number 5 and then there was like three letters on the alphabet. It was one of those. Hated it. My first fear are wasps, because I got stung in the eye when I was about 6 from a wasp. In all fairness, I did kick the nest and it did sting me. But still, even to this day, I fucking hate them with a pure passion, but I was petrified of them when I was a child. My first Instagram post, oh my god, I remember this. It was November 2014, and literally, because my friends were bugging me to get it, so I got it in the end, and my first post was a picture of me on my way out to Manchester, and my hair somehow looked like this. Don't ask. My first job experience, embarrassing enough, I was a paper boy. I did a paper round for about 2 years before I used to go to sixth form, and I left because I had to go to university. In all fairness, I didn't mind getting up at stupid o'clock in the morning because it used to wake me up. But no, it was cold, that's all I used to remember from it. It was cold and horrible. The first language I ever learned, this was actually Serbian, but this is where it gets a little bit complicated. Growing up in a Serbian household, my first language was Serbian and I was fluent in it. But because I obviously lived in England and all that, my first priority as a child living in a country with a different language was to learn that language first. So living in England, I learned English and I took more priorities in that. And then due to that, I kind of forgot how to speak Serbian for a good while because I was so focused on talking in English and practicing and pronouncing my English that I completely forgot about my Serbian, and I never used to ask my parents to speak in Serbian because I wanted to perfect my English. Thankfully, I'm all good now. God, I nearly said it in Serbian. That's how much it's cracking my head up. My first bad word. This is going back to when I was about 2 years old, and I didn't mean for it to be a bad word. It just came out as a bad word. I apparently gave something to my uncle, and he said, thank you, and I tried to say you're welcome, but obviously it would come out as, you're welcome. And then it was a case of big bubbly eyes, everyone's like, what did you say? And it's like, I don't know, I'll try to say, you're welcome. But obviously, so I guess that kind of counts. Now, first tattoo, it depends how you go. My first tattoo, realistically, was a jab tattoo. A couple of friends of mine from sixth form went over to one of their houses and they had the typical needle and ink, and they prodded across it into my left thigh, actually. And because it faded away after a while, so it doesn't really count. So my proper tattoo was a house tattoo, is an inverted pentagram I have on my left where the cross used to be, and it was in a weird disproportionate angle, and looking back at it, it was just like, oh my god. So it's not a case of regret it because I still like the tattoo, it's just a case of I just learn that, use it as a learning curve. Experience on the ship, probably when I went to Serbia, surprise surprise, or to the whole of Europe. My family were travelling from England to Serbia throughout Europe, so to get the ferry to Paris, and I just remember like looking at the waves and just like getting mesmerized by how the currency and how aggressive that the tides could be. I was just like, wow, I love this. First experience on the train, oh my god. This was before I was 4 years old, because I always remember my grandfather, he always used to take me on trains, even though that he lived literally about 3 minutes away from a train from where my family would live in Selly Park to Bourneville, where he used to live. And it's a case of he used to meet me in Selly Oak or Selly Park, and then he would get the train to Bourneville, and then he would literally go walk around the station and do this quite often, because I just absolutely adored going on trains. And that's a very sensitive memory I have of my grandfather. It's a very crucial memory I hold to my heart, because that's as much as I can remember from him because I was so young. My first YouTube video, this was about 2 years ago actually, I think now. It was the Goth Tag video. And looking back at that video, I can't believe I let my hair go to that length. It was like a horrible Snape, like curtain cut. So that kind of came up to here, and it was like a curtain parting, and it was crimped. I was like, oh my god, looking back at the way how I used to look, I passed my baby fat stage years and years ago, but looking to that, it's like, why? Just like, it's a bad choice. No, I remember that video. It's actually pretty good. I wouldn't have done my YouTube stuff if it wasn't for so many people encouraging and actually watching my videos. So I really am grateful for everyone who subscribes and watches my videos, even for you haters out there. So thank you. My first gig, well, according to my dad, it was a Bad Company gig, but I really couldn't remember that to save my life, so I'll have to go with 2007 Marilyn Manson's Eat Me, Drink Me tour. And I believe I was about 12 years old on that, and it was such a beautiful show. Like, this is like my first experience with a show, and I know you probably laugh because, oh, it's Marilyn Manson, but no, I really enjoyed it. And to me, I think I caught him at the right time before he went bad, as far as stage performances go. So just remember, it was such like an Alice in Wonderland type of feel, all this smoke rising around the ceiling. You had like the goth people in the standing area, and then this blue, red, pink lighting, and still one of those gigs I will never forget, and it's still one of my favourite gigs to this day. It was just so eye-opening. First movie to keep in mind, I'll probably always say The Crow, because The Crow is just one film that has just never left me. Even when I started watching it from a very young age, I know everything about it, I can paraphrase it, I can quote it, everything. It's just a film that really hit me deep when I was growing up, and it still is now. I mean, I'm not even too ashamed to admit it. First item you do in the morning. See, I wish the site which I got this from actually grammar checked a lot of their stuff, because a lot of this stuff doesn't make sense unless it means the first item or the first thing I do in the morning. The first thing I do in the morning is wake up, obviously, and then the first thing I'll probably do is like switch my phone on to just check messages, and that's about it, to be honest, apart from just wishing to stay in bed for the rest of my life. My first drunk experience, well, that's the point of being drunk, so you don't remember. If you can't remember your first experience and you haven't done it right. As far as I remember, I can't actually remember the first time I was drunk. I was probably about 14, 15, somewhere in town getting drunk off Foster's or something, shit like that. First experience in a fist fight. As far as a fist fight goes, I think it was either in junior school or secondary school. Definitely secondary school, because that's when you had loads of the testosterone rampaging through a boys' school going through. I'm very sure I had a few fist fights in junior school, because I was quite a tall, lanky kid. I was a really lanky kid back when I was about 10, 11. So they used to try and pick on me on that one. I'm very sure that I got into fist fights around that time. Wouldn't surprise me. Biggest impact on you growing up? As cliche as it sounds, probably my mother. My mother's always been such a strong, iconic person to me, especially for expression and being myself. She's always supported the way how I looked. She encouraged it, and to me, it was the support I needed growing up through school and finding my identity. So yeah, definitely she's the biggest impact of my life. First thing to ever make me laugh. Probably Laurel and Hardy, to be honest. That's as far as I can remember. Me and my dad watching Laurel and Hardy back on catch-up TVs, and it changed that much. I actually got the whole collection and get the back over there. So no, silent comedies and black and white comedies have always been a favourite of mine. So yeah, I'll say that. An item that I like most in my room, probably my Bauhaus poster. As much as I adore my CD collection, but that's now just become a collection. I lose my head in that thing whenever I look into it and try and choose something. But no, I'll probably say my Bauhaus poster, because it was the last one I got from the alternative shop in Birmingham, and I just absolutely love it. I've been looking for one for ages, and no. Even when it gets ripped when I walk through the door, if like someone gets caught on it, I go into a frenzy because I always try and save it. It means a lot to me. First biggest influence of your life growing up as a child? I'll probably have to say Elvis. I was a massive fucking Elvis freak when I was about 6 to 10 years old. I used to try and do my hair like Elvis, and the whole body expression, like, used to listen to him religiously, and then I found Queen, and then that became like my band to go to. I was obsessed with Queen for so many fucking years before I was introduced into goth music, and even when I was finding my style in the goth culture, I still listen to about 2 or 3 Queen songs a day. Like, I fucking love Queen. I'm excited to see the new film. Yes. First favourite song, oh my, I'll probably have to say, I can never remember the name of that stupid group, but they did a song for a film I used to like. I think it was called Deep Blue Fish or something like that. I'll have to try and find it, but it was so stupid, so poppy as well. It's like, I'm a little fish in a deep blue sea. Looking back and thinking to myself, God, just know why. But you know what kids are like. Favourite fruit? Watermelon! Always watermelon. Favourite childhood memory? I don't know if this is a favourite childhood memory. This one used to scare the shit out of me as a kid. I remember I always used to watch Bugs Life as a kid. And back in the original place that I used to grow up in, like in this little flat, I always remember when it came to the scene at the end where Copper gets fed to the baby chicks. That used to scare the ever-loving shit out of me, and I used to hide underneath our table. It was like a big Victorian dining set, and I used to literally hide in there, but every time I used to hide in there, my dad would automatically come from work, like come through the door. And because I was there terrified, I thought to myself, oh, I can try and surprise my dad, like hide away from him, and then obviously it never worked. But that was like my favourite childhood memory growing up, even though it was a bit of a disturbing one. First favourite musical artist? As I said, I'll probably say Elvis. Yeah, I think I already established that one, very sure. My first ever favourite book, that's probably The Twits by Roald Dahl. It's one of these ones where I love Roald Dahl's stuff, ever since I was like a child, obviously. But I don't know, The Twits is something that always connected with me. Don't know why, I just love the concept of this grotesque couple just being violent and disgusting and vulgar, and I really wish they'll turn it into a proper film because I would love to see it. Just, my favourite book, one of my favourite books even to now. That's like my favourite childhood book. Out of all the Roald Dahl stuff, that's the most like morbid one or the most disgusting one, but it's my favourite. First favourite horror movie, probably Pet Sematary. Scared the living shit out of me when I was 6 years old, because it was when my cousins came from Serbia to England one time, and it was on TV, and we were really young. We were watching it, thought, oh, this can't be bad, this is like a 90s film, but no, absolutely wrong. It scared the crap out of me. I could not sleep for months on end, but now I love it. My favourite outfit, it depends on what you say. Like, my favourite outfit I've customised, it will probably have to be my Death Rock jacket. And the one I enjoy wearing the most, I suppose it's going to have to be my horror jacket. The one with all like the tributes to horror icons like Leatherface and all that, and some of the Ross Williams logo on the back. I've shown it to you in one of my previous videos. That's one of my favourite ones to wear, although it needs a little bit of work on it. First experience that you laughed at the wrong moment. Every single fucking time. Like, there's not one day which my dark humour gets me into trouble. I will laugh at anything, and I can't help it. I always try and find the funny side of every situation. I can't remember my first time, but it's literally every single time. First skill everyone wants to learn, well, this is a skill I still want to learn. I want to learn more languages. To me, I'm learning 2 extra ones at the moment, but I really want to start learning a lot more, because I find it to be very useful. Strongest quality on your personality. It's probably my determination to never give up on creativity or anything in that matter. I'm a very strong-going person. I like to work to my best capabilities, and I never back down from a lot of things. I think that's one thing I do like, especially when it comes to expressing yourself, to never back down and always keep the creative flair going. So I'd probably say my strongest is my determination and strong-willed. And lastly, place of nature I've seen. My first very place of nature I've seen. I think it must have been in Greece when I was about 5, and I just remember these big type of palm trees. He's called them pineapple trees. And no, it was, from what I can remember, it was such a beautiful place, and I really wish I can go back. Well, that's my video. It's very quick, it's very boring, I suppose. But now, I'd get this one over and done with. Try and keep you all entertained. Saves me waiting a month or 2 months or 3 months or whatever. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I will hopefully try to do more videos every Tuesday from now on, if I haven't like burst my head with lack of creativity. But no, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you very soon. Bye.